Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Another of my two obligatory informative videos done for the day. It's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And I had one of my subscribers on my Facebook fan page actually link me this Bradley Martyn video. I don't really follow Bradley, but all BS aside, I actually kind of like Bradley. And I hate most of the people in this industry. So let me put on my plus 5 hat of weapon spinning, work on skill up my crafty a little bit, and let's talk about this. One of the reasons I actually do kind of like Bradley is that, he's a little bit of a snake oil salesman, but he's at least, I don't know, the guy strikes me as funny, and I think he trolls people. He trolls people just to do it while acting dead serious, and I don't think people realize, like, how bad he trolled people in this video. And it's like, I think it was done intentional, and it's just a sense of humor, because he realizes, I think Bradley realizes most of the guys who follow YouTube fitness, I'm just going to be honest, most of you guys are stupid. Or you're naive, gullible kids, and so you can tell them silly shit, and they'll believe it, and they won't even pick up on it. I think he trolls people just for the fun of it. But what I will say, what I do like about Bradley, and I've seen some people say, hey, that's being hypocritical, is that he came out and said, look, when I'm documenting what I do, I'm just telling you guys what I do. And even when it comes to drugs and stuff, I'm not going to claim natural. I mean, obviously, not the case. So just because something's working for me, I'm not saying it's going to work for you. I'm not saying it's going to work for you, but it works for me, and I'm just documenting my journey. All right, and I can respect that. I can respect that. But I'm going to give him a little bit of flack in this video for that, because there's things he's doing in this video that I'm going to go, Bradley, that's not going to work without drugs. All right, that won't work without drugs. You need to understand this. So I understand it works for you, but you need to probably let your followers know if they're not blasting a gram of test and some trend, they're kind of wasting their time with some of this shit. But over to the point where I thought he was trolling. Had to do with the shit that he did after telling him, look, I think people overcomplicate their workouts, right? They make it too complicated. And then he does some complicated ass shit. He's trying to tell people to be less complicated. And then what does he do immediately? Right after explaining all that, he says, so the exercise I'm doing, this is not complicated, is reverse bench machine preacher curls. All right, for his followers, he didn't catch that he was trolling you guys. He's trolling the shit out of you guys. And I'm not saying he probably didn't get a good pump doing the exercise, because that's what this video was supposed to be about, was getting a good pump. He's trolling the shit out of people. I think people overcomplicate their workouts, make it more simple, and then the first exercise right after saying that, a reverse bench machine preacher curl, where you flip the bench around, get on the other end of the preacher bench, and find a machine to curl with. Like, because you can't pick up a barbell and do some curls, right? That would be too complicated. It would be too complicated. On a little side note, though, I actually, first time I heard that Bradley say that he just got his deviated septum fixed. I didn't know about that. I actually have a deviated septum. And so some of the people say, hey, Jason, you breathe a little heavy in some of your videos and stuff. It's because I have a deviated septum. And so, yeah, he got his fix. That's cool. It's the only thing that sucks, though, he's talking about, well, I can't squat and deadlift or do anything heavy. And so you guys, for me, think about that. It's like, that's what I'm about. I'm into strength. I'm not into bodybuilding. To me, that's like, oh, no, man, I won't be able to squat or deadlift or do anything heavy. Not real big on that. Doesn't sound too good to me. Although I know at some point eventually I probably do need to get my deviated septum fixed down the road. Maybe when I don't need to be in front of a camera as much, maybe. I don't know. Maybe further down the road. Or maybe when I want to take a break from some heavy lifting, I'll look into it. But I'm glad to see that it's going better. I am glad to hear him say, as someone who has kind of the same issue, to hear someone else say who's out there lifting, who's saying, yeah, I'm actually feeling a lot better. I'm glad I got it done. It's like, all right, that's cool, man. It's good to hear that. But back over to the point about the complicatedness. I don't want to completely disagree with him, because what I will agree with, I do think people overcomplicate their training. Yeah, they absolutely do. And I think people want to do so many exercise variations that's a bit of a problem. That if an exercise is going to meet your goals, like in his case, talking about feeling good, I don't agree with that. Instinctive training, all that nonsense, nope. But let's be realistic here. If an exercise is important to you and you feel an exercise is going to help you reach your goals, I don't care what your goals are. I don't care what endeavor of fitness or lifting related your goals happen to be in, because a lot of people have a lot of different goals. A lot of people on my channel, they have very, very different goals than some of these other fitness people. Here we're usually pursuing as much drug-free size as you can put on. We're pursuing strength, athleticism. That's what we want, right? That is what we want. We're trying to go orc mode over here. But the point is the same. Why shouldn't you do 8, 9, 10 sets of an exercise you care about? I mean, go look at my current novice program that I put out, my new one. Free program. How many sets of squats, bench press, overhead press, right? All that stuff are you doing every week? Like 9 sets of every one of those exercises. All those important exercises, you're doing like 9 sets every week. I think 8 to 10 sets for most people of any exercise is probably your sweet spot for the week. It realistically is. There's nothing wrong with an exercise you really know is important towards your goals of doing 10 sets of it in a week. I don't disagree with that. In fact, I think that's pretty reasonable. So I'm not going to disagree with him there, and he does have a point, and I'll agree with that point, even though I might think that the instinctive stuff and all the small movements are kind of ridiculous. Again, you can't do all that shit unless you're running a bunch of gear, Bradley. But his other point is valid, that if an exercise is going to match your goals, in his case he talks about it feeling good, I'll talk about knowing and looking at what that exercise does to your body from a biomechanics perspective, from a programming perspective, then yeah, doing 8, 9, 10 sets of that exercise in your program should be written into your program. If it's not, if the most important exercises to your goals, you don't have 8 to 10 sets of them written into the program, it might be time to look at that program and ask you, who in the hell wrote this? Who wrote this program? Why aren't I doing that many sets of the stuff that matters? It's a real good question, the one that needs to be asked. There's a lot of bad programs out there. So you've got all that, but then it got funny because it's in Bradley's talking about, oh yeah, do 10 sets of these behind the head tricep extensions. And I'm thinking I'm going to see a behind the head tricep extension. Okay, I'm not going to disagree with that. Again, basic biomechanics. There's a method to that. I mean, if you think about the heads of the tricep that get worked the most on all of our pressing movements, which is what I focus on, it's primarily lateral and medial head of the tricep. Behind the head tricep will get more long head. That's usually the one head that gets neglected the most. And so if guys are chasing that whole, if the aesthetic thing is what you're chasing, and that's what you guys are focused on, yeah, I get it. And doing some long head work probably isn't a bad idea. I can't disagree with that. I mean, you have to look at the biomechanics of it. You can't argue with that point. But then what's he do? He goes to just doing a little bit of partials. He's not even getting that stretch. He's not even working the long head the way. He's not coming down. Not coming down. Then he's just doing these partials. They weren't even half reps. And it's like, Bradley, man, that shit doesn't work if you're not on drugs, bro. It doesn't work if you're not on drugs. You might want to throw that caveat again that, hey, this is what works for me. But the point being, though, I wouldn't recommend someone who's trying to put on size without drugs do quarter reps like that on any exercise. I don't care what it is. But, behind the head tricep extension, yeah, you're going to feel that. Yeah, it's going to make you sore. Yeah, it's going to give you DOMS in the long head of your tricep. Of course it is. Because that head doesn't get neglected and you're actually putting that head in a stretch position, it's going to help it. But I would also tell guys, if that head's lagging, how many pull-ups are you doing every week? How much overhead pressing are you doing every week? Are you doing the standing press? You need to look at the EMG stuff on the standing press and the tricep. It beats other overhead presses. The standing press with a barbell done full range of motion works your triceps a hell of a lot more than any other overhead press. The overhead press is the one press that does hit the long head. So just throwing that in there, if that area is lagging for you, think about overhead pressing with a barbell, right? It needs to be part of your routine anyways. I have 9 sets of it every week on my novice program, my current one. Free one I just put out again, 9 sets of that in there. So there's other things going on. But what I also thought was funny, he jumped over into his whole spiel about selling all his clothing. And I'm not sure if I heard him correctly, but I think he said he has underwear for sale. Bradley, you got an underwear line for sale? I mean, more power to him. I mean, if he can get people watching his fitness stuff to buy his brand of underwear, more power to him. All right, I'm not going to knock the hustle. But I was just like, really? He's selling underwear? He got stringers, t-shirts, underwear. He's selling underwear, bro. Hey, I mean, if you can make a buck on it, I wish him all the best of luck on that. I would rather fitness personalities sell underwear than useless shit like branched chain amino acids, right? I'd rather see them sell underwear than pre-workout. So I'm not going to knock it, man. If he's got a line of underwear that people want to wear and they're proud to wear it and they want to spend their money on it, hey, we all need underwear. Well, most of us do, you know. I wear underwear. I can't speak for everybody else. You know, if the guy wants to kick out a line of underwear and people want to buy it, I can't knock that, man. More power to you. That's being a good entrepreneur, you know. He's marketing what he does, making money off of it with a product that people might actually benefit from. Because whether we want like the style or not, hell, you know, underwear is a useful product. Unlike most supplements, which don't do shit, complete waste of money. At least underwear are useful. So you know, if the guy can pimp underwear off of his channel and his Instagram and people want to buy it, I don't know. I'm not going to knock that hustle, man. I'd say more power to you if you can pull that off. But all in all, the video wasn't really useful. It wasn't really helpful. It was basically trolling people. He was trolling people, and he knows that he was. But I found it amusing, and to me, that was the point that stuck with me. Just kind of watching the video at the start of this talk about not complicating your training, and in the very first exercise, he's having to explain the exercise, and it's a little small movement too, just for the biceps. Why does everybody get so obsessed over the arms? Come on, guys. They're tiny ass little muscles. All these guys in bodybuilding, they get so obsessed with arms. And I'm like, hell, I do curls. You know, I get it, guys. But, you know, it's this obsession. It's an obsession where they need whole workouts dedicated to just their arms. It's like, all right, man. I mean, they're not that important in the grand scheme of things. But this complicated ass exercise right after explaining you don't need to be complicated in your training, that is some high level trolling right there. And I guarantee you most of his younger followers didn't even catch it. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.